Hey, welcome back to Everyday Jesus. My name is Derek. I'm so glad that you're here today. I want to read you a story today out of the ministry and life of Jesus that has really been fascinating me the past couple of years, probably. In Matthew 8, Jesus has he's just calmed the storm, which is an amazing miracle. He's done a lot of really cool things. But here they cross the sea. And they come to the other side. And in Matthew 8:28 it says, "And when he came to the other side, to the country of the Gadarenes, two demon-possessed men met him." And I know we don't talk a lot about demons, but that's not really the point. Bear with me. It says, "Two demon-possessed men met him coming out of the tombs, so fierce that no one could pass that way. And behold, they cried out, 'What have you to do with us, Son of God? Have you come here to torment us before the time?' Now a herd of many pigs was feeding at some distance from them, and the demons begged him, saying, 'If you cast us out, send us away into the herd of pigs.' And he said to them, 'Go.' And they came out and went into the pigs, and behold, the whole herd rushed down the steep bank into the sea and drowned in the waters. The herdsmen fled, and going into the city, they told everything, especially what had happened to the demon-possessed men. And behold, all the city came out to meet Jesus. And when they saw him, they begged him to leave their region." There's so much in that story that we could talk about, right? Again, demon possession is just not something we really talk about all that much. But what fascinates me here is how Jesus responds to the demons, right? And I don't know what all is possible, what was capable for him to do, but they're scared of him. They see this man who we believe was God in the flesh, and they say, "Have you come here to torment us before the time?" So there's again so much packed in there. But then they ask him. They say, "Hey, please, if you do cast us out, send us over here." They had a preference. They asked Jesus. Again, like we've been talking about, they recognized his authority. And they asked him, they appealed to his authority, and they appealed to his compassion. What fascinates me about this story is when you realize Jesus had compassion on demons. That's kind of mind-boggling to me. And again, there are probably a lot of ways we could take this story. There are a lot of ways we could look at that. But it strikes me, who is it that I don't feel is worthy of my compassion? Are they people that see the world differently than I do? Are there people that process things completely differently from me, value things that are completely different from me? Are there people that are mean enough and rude enough that they don't deserve my compassion, or that I shouldn't give them and show them compassion? Where's the line? I think if we're honest, a lot of us have a line. We have a limit. We have boundaries. We have lines that people can't cross. And if they do, well, that's it. You don't receive compassion from me. You don't receive mercy from me or graciousness. Jesus listened to these demons, and he did what they asked him to. How many times do we refuse to listen to people because we know that we disagree with them, or we know that they're on the other side of an issue from us? This is a challenging verse for me. It's challenging because I know that there are people that I'm tempted to not have compassion for. There are people that I'm tempted to not fully listen to, much less give them what they ask for. So Jesus models here just an amazing amount of compassion that only he can give, and that only he can give to us, right? He tells us to love our enemies, to pray for those who persecute us, bless those who curse us. And he models that here. That's an amazing, amazing thing. So take that for a moment today. Ask yourself those questions. Ask yourself if you have limits to your compassion, if you have limits and boundaries to who you will dignify with a response, or who you will dignify with listening to them, and then even giving what's asked. Do you have limits? What are your boundaries in that regard? And then ask yourself if in those boundaries you are following Jesus, or if we're protecting ourselves, or if we're judging others in ways that we don't want to be judged, right? I see in Jesus a radical, boundless compassion. Now, he still cast those demons out, right? He had more compassion on the men who were possessed than the demons. But Jesus still had and modeled and showed a graciousness and a mercy to those who asked him. I encourage you and I challenge you to seek how radical, how extreme your compassion and your mercy can be. Now you're probably dealing with people and not demons. But I think if we pushed ourselves to how radical our compassion was, how extreme our mercy was, I think we would see much different results in our conflicts, in our disagreements, in the people that we find the most unlovable. Now, certainly this costs us something, and it comes with a risk, right? But I think if we're following Jesus, we have to take those risks. We have to walk in knowing that it's risky, but it's worth it. Jesus faced a lot of pushback for his compassion, for his mercy, the people that he hung out with, the people that he blessed. You see here, the townspeople came out and they asked him to leave. They asked the creator God of the universe in the flesh to leave because they were afraid. And maybe because they valued the pigs more than they valued Jesus and what he had done for these men. Think about that for a second. Maybe they cared less about the men who he had freed from demon possession and cared more about the financial loss of the pigs. I don't know. But what are our priorities, right? Who do we see more value in? The people next to us, or the ideas that we hold, the property that we own, the sides that we take? Who do we value more? I'm going to leave you with that today. Ask those questions. Spend some time with it. Ask the Lord to show you those areas that you might be asking him to leave because he wants to show compassion, or he wants you to show compassion. Ask him to show you those hard places. It might be revealing to begin to ask those questions, to be able to think about this. But I encourage you to do that. Spend some time asking Jesus to show you and then empower you to overcome those areas. Ask him to empower you to show and live out this kind of compassion, this kind of mercy that is not found anywhere else but in Jesus. I bless you with that today, and I'll see you next time.